Still no podcast.
Not yet, but getting a lot of valuable reps. When the time comes, we're going to be better trained than most.
That's right.
It's all about how many reps you put in, right?
That is how it works. Laura says hi. She just
Hi, Laura.
texted me. Yeah, I think we're climbing up Podcast Mountain, and then there's a monk up there who tells us to chop the wood, and haul the water. Mm-hmm. And we say, when are we going to have a podcast, Master? And he says, chop the wood and haul the water. And we're like, is this what our podcast is? Is it just us chopping the wood and hauling the water?
It seems really strange the amount of time that he insists that we be silent.
Yeah, not good for podcasting.
But it's also bad for chopping the wood.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if we're a couple of dupes.
Yeah, I want to be clear. Anytime there's dead air on this podcast, it's because a monk made us do it.
It's true. Just following our training, our podcast training.
Yeah, what's the monk's name again?
Shangri-Pa.
I was going to say Tony Shalhoub.
Okay.
Shangri-Pa, our sensei, our master.
He's very boyish for a 180-year-old man.
Yeah, he's like that baby Yoda.
Yeah. He doesn't say a lot, but he makes like a cute little face and reaches his hand out.
Yeah, quick question. Would you fuck baby Yoda? He's 50.
No.
Yeah. That's the thing. He's a baby. You're like, I can't fuck a baby. Oh, but what about a 50-year-old baby?
Still no.
Yeah. Too old.
Yeah.
It's somehow gross in both directions at the same time.
What's he been doing all that time?
Not
learning to talk yet.
How would that work? Like, what's the evolutionary advantage of being a baby for 50 years? Like, you're just helpless for a century?
I can't imagine that, that species...
Fucking why? There's only one Yoda.
Yeah, it's a good reason
the rest of them just got carried off by birds.
At least he's not crying all the time.
That's true. They'd be good at hiding during, some sort of ethnic cleansing. I'm just saying, as someone who thinks a lot about, like, oh man, if there was ethnic cleansing,
that sort of stuff happens in the Star Wars universe all the time.
Suck at hiding. Yeah, there's definitely.
I want to see his swinging teen years, though. I guess in his late 80s.
Yeah.
Because it's all we've seen the baby of the species and the about to die old as the only Yoda I've seen that is in the prime of his life is animated, and I want to see that. And
it's weird that Yoda's 900 years old when he dies, but he's like the equivalent of a 1-year-old baby at 50. It's like, when does Yoda puberty happen?
He was burning the candle at both ends.
That's shit. Like, most of his life, he's a baby, and then he just gets super old super fast.
Maybe puberty's not on that same schedule.
It's like when you see pictures of, your dad, and you're like, oh, man, look how young he looks in that picture. And there's, 1 year where, all his hair falls out and he gets fat all at once. That's what happened to Yoda. He went through a bad breakup. Started doing meth. That's what they don't tell you. That's why he talks like that. He spent a couple of years just following fish around and doing every drug he could get his hands on. Fried his brain.
And it's possibly just the slang from 15 years before the Star Wars films take place, and he's still just not moved on, and he's...
That's Fish. When Fish broke up, their last show was on Dagobah, and that's how he just ended up there living in a mud hut because he didn't have any money.
Yeah, it was a long, strange trip, and then it was over. And where do you go from here to a house that you made of mud and not your own feces?
Well, I have some update, just some some house cleaning for. I mean, this is just wonk shit, just for us. But I've got some demographic research on our podcast.
Oh, okay.
And according to the numbers, it looks like roughly 90% of people who like our show are males between the ages of 13 and 17.
Wonderful.
So I think whatever we're doing, just keep doing it, I guess, and eventually those losers will have money to pay for the premium episodes.
They love all of our references to the Hollywood of yore.
Yeah, go off on a big Jimmy Durante tear.
Yeah. They're doing Fatty Arbuckle dirty this week.
So yeah, I bought a PlayStation 4. Hopefully that'll make me more relevant to the kids.
That's a good move. That's a safe move too. There are a lot of ways that you can start to try to make yourself more appealing to children that can raise eyebrows around town.
Yeah.
They don't let me down at the roller skating rink anymore.
Yeah. Cuz you'd show up.
I was selling drugs there.
Oh.
Yes.
That will make you popular with children.
It's one of their favorite things.
Kids, they love drugs. They love drugs and they love rock and roll.
That's right. Yeah, they don't want to stop a rockin'.
Yeah. They're just up all night playing their Big Bopper records.
That's right. And if you ever see them in the chairs, they like those newfangled rocking chairs.
They like those rocking chairs. You go, man, sometimes I can't even get into the Cracker Barrel because it's just a bunch of little toughs.
Yeah.
Just posted up outside.
Picking their fingernails with their switchblades. Rocking in unison. It's really...
They call me old man and then they throw an empty knee-high bottle.
Just... always have to buy them goo-goo clusters. Give them out on the way out.
Yeah,
so they leave me alone.
You have to, you have to bring an offering of goo-goo clusters to the little toughs at the Cracker Barrel. Why do they give you those grits with everything?
I don't know. Maybe it's
they're terrible grits.
Maybe they're thinking if too much of the heavy food is thrown away, it's going to clog up the old garbage disposal. So they need some sort of foodish lubricant that they're constantly throwing down the garbage disposal.
It's just, I was at the Cracker Barrel this weekend. And I said, I want this country fried steak, but it comes with grits, and I don't like your grits. And I said, what can I get a substitute for the grits? And they were like, I was like, could I get like hash brown casserole? That was a Hail Mary.
Did they smack that down? Did you go to cinnamon apples?
I said fried apples, and they were like, no, I'm sorry. I was like, I can't substitute fried apples for the grits. What can I? And they were like, gravy. I was like, everything on my plate already has the gravy on it. Why do I need more gravy? It already comes with a side of gravy, too. Just gravy me up, please.
How much could they upsell you? Like how much? I'm already into you for the grits. Can you just keep that and charge me half price for an a la carte hash brown casserole?
They said no, it would be the full price. So they're admitting that their grits are worth absolutely nothing. These grits they should be paying you to take them away. I'm going to come in there.
There are situations that grits are good.
Oh, yes, I can name.
But just a bland bowl of grits with no seasoning
gelatinous,
whatsoever.
Gelatinous.
Probably use too much water.
Bottom of the barrel.
No flavor, no protein, it's
completely.
You'd be better off with just your Quaker oats with nothing.
Yeah.
It's worthless.
They're an insult.
Sometimes I will eat them, though, and I'll just put one of the jellies in there to try to give it some flavor.
Yeah, I put butter in it, but by the time I got done with the rest of the food I ordered, I was like, this is stupid.
I will absolutely not touch that until all the other food is gone.
I ate all the biscuits on the table, and then I was like, I don't need these grits. Why would I punish myself? I could feel that I had to shit halfway through the meal. I was like, oh, no.
I don't know why. I've taken several shits in Cracker Barrels.
Like, you eat so much that you can feel the food you just ate starting to push the shit out. Like,
yeah. And it's usually, I'm always eating there with my family. I'd never choose to go there on my own. So it's usually I'm visiting my hometown, and I've probably gone out drinking the night before. So I'm almost always hungover when I'm in a Cracker Barrel, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just sitting there eating food so that it's like pushing shit out of me like the Play-Doh Fun Factory. And I still felt like I'd compelled to eat those grits, but I didn't do it. I just left them there with a pat of melted butter on top. Like I thought I was going to church it up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm with you 100%. Don't waste the grits. I'm gonna just tell that to him next time I'm there. Don't waste those grits on me.
This is the hot young voice of America that has.
That's why the teenage boys love us.
Teen boys coming back for more episodes.
I saw that. Didn't we have somebody who was asking us for rap tips?
Rap tips?
Somebody on the Instagram, I believe, was asking us to give them some tips on rapping.
Oh, I think it was a rapper who wanted to do offered to make us a music for the show.
Ah, okay. Never mind then.
Oh, we did have a comment. Hang on, I have to look this up, but we did have a comment on our Instagram that I felt like we needed to share on the show because it was so on point. So just, it really felt like this person gets us. This comment was on, we had the video that we posted about Black Friday, our holiday Patreon sale, which is still probably going on as we speak.
Yeah.
There might still be.
It continues apace. It is Black December.
But, yeah. So on that video, we got a comment from Chaotic Grain. That's at Chaotic Grain on Instagram. It says here, Andrew Bailey is his name. He is a self-described weeb and gamer. Born April 13th, 2002. So that...
I remember 2002 as very...
That tracks with...
I think I was very into, like, I'm going to buy every season of The Simpsons on DVD.
And then he says here, he's an introvert, and this new generation is annoying. So I guess he hates babies. I agree.
I haven't gotten...
They got shit in their drawers, and they cry all the time. But, yeah, so Chaotic Grain writes, green screen.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, he got us dead to rights.
I'm
he figured it out.
Now.
We weren't really in an animated lodge with snow falling and a crackling fire. We thought we had him fooled. But
yeah, that's the sort of digs that you can afford when you have an award-winning podcast already.
Yeah,
We're faking it till we are making it.
Yeah. So everybody just go to Chaotic Grain on Instagram and just say green screen on all of his posts. That's
even if he's not using a green screen on his posts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he posts any selfies because he's an introvert and he hates this new generation.
Yeah, I hate him too.
Yeah. So maybe...
Why don't you get a job, child?
This new generation. Ugh. Maybe he means the iPhone.
Oh yeah. How's that working out? You are current.
Yeah. Still can't get wireless charging to work correctly. Seems like it's never worked with any of my iPhones. But why would you want to set your phone down while it charged when you could just plug in a cord and then keep scrolling and scrolling?
The only thing I think it's getting rid of is that I'm already in bed. Now I need to charge it, but I'm laying in the dark and trying to figure out this cord thing, so you can just like chuck it on a plate.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But that's it.
It's really not. Yeah. Yeah, it's dumb.
It's for the sake of it's like a sharper image thing. It's cool that you can do it, but why would you want to?
Yeah, make it truly wireless in the sense that it charges while you're using it.
Or like
bombard me with
like
some sort of testicle destroying radiation that makes my phone charge.
Plug thing that you can put on that plate that contains some charge, and then you can plug it into the battery port and have it be a portable battery that's not too bulky that you can plug in there.
Yeah. But first make it so it stops going boom, boom, boom every couple of minutes when it disconnects and reconnects.
But man, people are going to have to be super careful with those because people are just going to rip those off like crazy if they make those.
Yeah.
Going to be more lost ones of those than earbuds.
Yeah. Then Lord knows they made a lot of earbuds.
Yeah. Air buddies, too.
Yeah. Space buddies. Spooky buddies.
Yeah, they stopped even, worrying about finding a new sport for them to play. This time they're in space!
There's nothing in the rule book.
I guess we'll have them play golf like that one fella.
What fella?
That one guy who was like, all right, what am I going to do for my moon victory dance?
Oh, and
has it all been done? Club? No, we're gonna hit a golf ball.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. He hit that ball.
It's frustrating that we go with very physically fit scientists to put in space and not Earth's greatest wackadoodle weirdo, so that we can really grandstand on that moon. We've done a shit job of it thus far. We put a flag there.
Yeah.
We take some rocks. One guy hit a golf ball.
Yeah. I want to see who would be the best person to send to the moon. I gotta say, I think it'd be those boys from Jackass.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Send Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O and all the rest. Bam. Get Bam on the moon.
Put Bam on the moon.
Put Bam on the moon.
And then,
Bam's dad
can we
up there.
give them lots of explosives so they can go even wilder on the moon than they did on Earth? Like terraform. Jackass terraforming.
They're just planting trees.
And then when the events of Armageddon really truly do pass, they will be the badass space miners that we can send to save our planet.
God. I would just love to see, which do you think is braver? Going to the moon or being one of the Jackass men?
Ooh.
Because, I feel like going to the moon, is probably more dangerous.
It's kind of an all-in-one.
Except that, like, everyone's trying their hardest to make sure you don't get hurt. But Jackass is like, they want you to get hurt. And they also aren't the smartest people in the world. It's just...
And they also... It doesn't take very long to do any of those stunts. And they need 30 minutes of dipshit stunts every single week.
Yeah. Jackass on the Moon.
I feel like they must have... I don't know if they knew that it was important to build their personalities, because it could have been any fucking idiot who was doing any of these things.
Exactly.
But yeah, Jackass on the Moon is what I hope the next Jackass movie is. I hope there is going to be another, and I hope it's on the moon.
Just, I mean, pat them up real good.
Their gravity's lesser. Those falls are not going to hurt as much.
Yeah. Send them, make the lunar lander look like a shopping cart.
Yeah.
Just fire them right at the moon. Like a trip to the moon style.
The only problem I have with this is there's a lot of like butt and crotch stuff in Jackass that we're going to keep those covered up, because as soon as there's a breach in the suit,
they're going to have like a little porthole that they can put their dick and balls out.
It's like so that like the helmet face, except it's not going to be mirrored. It's going to be like...
Well, it would be like a Pop-O-Matic trouble bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can unscrew it, and that's like one of the stunts is like where they see who can go the longest with their dick and balls in outer space. Just being sucked.
And it being
sucked through the hole and frozen. Yeah, I think...
yeah. If I were a big Hollywood executive, I'd be stamping this one and sending it upstairs now.
If any of our listeners are the child, if you're the shitty 15-year-old son of a movie executive, tell them that your favorite podcast wants Jackass on the Moon.
Yeah.
And say that you are going to publicly embarrass your family if you don't get Jackass on the Moon.
Yeah, you're going to be a jackass on Earth until there's a Jackass on the Moon.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when people used to have sit-ins, but now it's just a Jackass on.
Yeah, it's like that Gil Scott-Heron poem. But instead of Whitey, it's Jackass. You know how the teens love Gil Scott-Heron references. Anyway, in keeping with the fact that we have found out that so many of our listeners are, shall we say, pubescent males, this is my first idea for a podcast this week.
Okay.
It's like a book club, but it's called Boob Club. We just replaced the K with another B. Now we got Boob Club. This would be, I guess this would be like where we just get together and talk about. We'd have to pick a boob ahead of time. And
we would there'd probably be some light snacks, maybe some wine.
Yeah.
And we'd all sit around in a circle and say, like, when the areola, I'm making it up.
No, I don't know.
Here, at the end of when I was looking at the picture.
So we're gonna go with a picture of a boob.
Yeah.
I guess that's more realistic than everybody has to get access to the same boob.
Well, yeah, we have to get, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely a picture of a boob
It
is
seems
the way
like
to
pictures or moving pictures would be the way to go, because otherwise aren't we just booking a stripper to come over for all of our friends who are in middle school?
We just have to hire a stripper, and then once a week, just us and all of our gentlemen friends, we all come together with some wine coolers. We just look at the boob, just the one. This isn't Boob's Club. Just pop a titty out. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we meet up in a coffee shop, and we just wait for a breastfeeding lady to show up. And then we just have to like kill time until some sort of a public breastfeeding lady shows up, and then we all gather around for Boob Club.
So an episode of Boob Club could happen at the drop of a hat. It's kind of like a flash mob podcast.
Yeah. It's like so it'd be like everybody is a. What this lady doesn't know is that everyone in this food court is actually part of Boob Club, and they're all just waiting to do the flash mob thing, but it's that they all just want to look at her boob. This idea is getting worse the more we talk about it.
It's certainly an idea, but it's guerrilla podcasting, and
that's with an O. This is the kind of podcast that a gorilla would come up with.
Well, a gorilla would probably just want to make the podcast about her kitten.
No, that gorilla really was obsessed with tits.
Oh, there was a titty gorilla?
The same one.
Oh.
The sign language gorilla used to make
Coco?
Used to be like, dump them out.
Let me see those things.
It's true. If that gorilla were alive today, it would be canceled. Yeah, that gorilla really did ask to see some titties from time to time.
Did people do it?
Probably. I mean, which is grosser, showing your tits to a gorilla or showing your tits to Louis C.K.? People will do anything if they're just starstruck by the sign language gorilla.
Mostly, I just think it'd be a huge feather in our cap if we could get a famous sign language gorilla to join Boob Club.
It's just a bunch of middle school boys and then a distinguished sign language gorilla and a sex worker. And we just compare and contrast our different opinions.
This would be one where we're more or less producing and not starring in the podcast, right?
Yeah, I feel like we should probably distance our public image from this.
Yeah, I think we need to draw some very clear lines that will not be crossed before we engage in this podcast. This is maybe the first one I've thought I need to bring my lawyer in on.
Yeah. Perry Mason.
But I mean, I think that our demographic here is important to it. I don't think I would want to do Boob Club with people in our own age group.
Yeah, I think
I feel like that'd get real bad in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, our cohort doesn't even care about boobs. It'd have to be an eating ass club.
Yeah.
Can't we just go back to the way it used to be?
I think that this is what progress is.
Okay. Now I sound like our hater.
I don't even know.
I
mean, this younger generation, they might need to be taught to appreciate boobs.
I don't even know if they do. That's the crazy thing.
You're not allowed to ask any of them.
I mean, I see a lot of them breastfeeding, so I guess that's something.
That's true.
That younger generation, the one that comes after whatever a 17-year-old hates.
Yeah.
Actual babies.
Do you think that this could be a breastfeed envy situation?
It could be. Maybe it's just a breastfeeding podcast.
I hate this whole generation because
just throw out the middle school boys. Just let it be a podcast about breastfeeding.
I don't know hardly anything about that, but
yeah.
I can stumble around in the dark with the best of them.
Just with your hands.
Oh, that's not a light switch.
All right, do you have any ideas for a podcast?
Yeah, I've got a couple. How about... And this might have some appeal. This is more of a historical one, but Harm and Foul, an investigation into the violent history of lawn darts.
Harm and Foul.
Yeah, because the saying's no harm, no foul. But they had to take lawn darts off the market because they were like 6 inches of pointed steel attached to a plastic dart.
Yeah, it was just like a pocket javelin.
But I always seem to kind of, see or hear like, oh, lawn darts used to be a thing, but too many people hurt themselves. But I think that there is probably a seedy underbelly of, mobsters like to use ice picks as a nondescript sort of weapon. It's like, oh, I was just going to make myself a drink, and then you get popped in the neck.
Oops.
So I think there are probably a lot of children at daycares across the United States who committed heinous crimes with lawn darts, and this would be like a true crime podcast where we try to uncover these quote-unquote accidents.
So wait, are you telling me that mobsters kill people with ice picks because there's some
mean child mobsters kill people with lawn darts, and they had to stop making them?
Wait, I'm not done with the mobster thing.
Keep going, sorry.
So they do the murder with the ice pick because then if they get caught and go to court, they can be like, I thought I was making a drink.
I think it's just so that they can get close and it's like, because they're gonna stab their buddy with it. And
so
he's
the buddy thinks it's just drink time.
And he'd be kind of weird that he's sharpened his knife at the table, but he's got an ice pick there.
Yeah. And he's like, that's strange. Ice has not come in a giant gob in nigh on 80 years now.
I'm talking your Al Capone era.
Al Capone's like,
when they wore those like weird pants before they had like tailors who. Why did pant legs used to be so big?
They come up like to your up to here like Fred Mertz.
Yeah, it was like when you were getting tailored, they were too worried about getting anywhere close to your crotch to get accurate measurements.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's wearing burlap sacks instead of tailored pants for a couple of decades there.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we all just decided to let our tailors touch our wangs.
Yeah.
It's such a better world now. Not just for the tailors either. So this is what you're saying is the children are plotting to hurt people with lawn darts.
Well, they've been off the market for a long time, but this would be kind of like a investigative journalism podcast where we go back and try to uncover the horrors that were wrought with.
You think there's some men and women in their 40s right now who are carrying that weight? They know what they did.
Yeah, absolutely. And probably some people who have never fully recovered either physically or emotionally from playing with this fun toy.
Now, this could be a very fascinating podcast, especially if we could uncover some dirt, maybe find out that the folks over it, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe Whammo made the lawn dart.
Seems like them. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, do that. But if we could find like an internal memo that implicates Whammo or
instead of a smoking gun, the bloody dart.
The bloody dart that they knew all along that people were using these darts for revenge, and they did nothing. What do we got? Is it Whammo?
Hasbro.
Well, now,
and they are actually originally called javelin darts.
Oh yeah, I think
that there are multiple companies that made them.
Grandparents had some that just said Jorts.
Yes.
That's what that happens when you shart in your jorts. I jarted. That's what happens if the jart hits you in your base of your spinal cord. You just jart immediately.
If you wear a jean jacket and jorts, are you still in a Canadian tuxedo, or is that not formal enough?
I believe that is known as a Nova Scotia Buster Brown. Kind of like a little Lord Denim. Yeah, so harm and foul.
Yes.
I can picture like the gritty like image we'd have for the harm and foul. It's like black and white, but with like red for the blood, and there's a dart, like a man smoking a cigar, but his face is obscured by shadow, and then a magnifying glass.
These are all important things, and I know we're going to have to affect a different tone than we normally do, because this has to be a very serious podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that there is like a lot of times these true crime things want to just do a deep dive on one case, one event, and a lot of times I feel like it's the opportunity. I mean, how many boxes of lawn darts were produced and put into children's hands? How much blood is on Hasbro's hands?
It's like trying to put together a puzzle without being able to move any of the pieces. You have to memorize what each one looks like.
Yeah, we're going to have to build one of those crazy walls with different colors of yarn going from picture to picture.
Pictures and
it needs to be a rotating one so that we can have like an alternate theory on the back.
It has to be humongous, and we pin the yarn with jarts.
Yeah. We'll have to be really careful because those things are dangerous.
Yeah. I want to say ahead of time that if we do this podcast and we turn up dead from lawn dart injuries, it was not an accident.
I think that's fair.
People need to,
they'll just have to show a little restraint this time.
Well, no, I mean, we get too close, we go sniffing around.
Oh, I thought you were insinuating that I'd murdered you with the lawn darts.
No, we're playing a dangerous game here with some seriously dangerous people. I don't know. It might be too much. I have a family.
That's true. You don't want to.
You can go out there.
Yeah, it's okay for me to put myself in harm's way, or you to put yourself in harm's way, but you can't put your
Riggs, but I'm fucking Murtaugh.
That's right.
I don't want to end up,
Plus, in a podcast,
stuck on a toilet rig to fire a
it might be best
dart.
if we get all of this together and release it all at once.
Yeah, this one's
like if I try to break it up into little bite-sized podcasts,
it's going to be a limited series. It has to have a conclusion, and the conclusion. I mean, if we're doing it like NPR, it's going to be like, oh well, what do we know? at the end after they make you listen by being like, "There's gonna be answers," and then they're like, "Well, yeah."
Well, do you have another suggestion?
I do. I just wrote down men's fashion. So I think this would be where we talk about trends. You know, maybe we do a retrospective, or we pick out maybe we do a whole episode on pants. You know, we already kind of touched on that,
and I think that's a really good topic.
Yeah,
you know, we had the romper situation last year, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, where men were wearing men's rompers.
Where they try to bring in some bullshit like that and foist it on you.
Yeah, they're like, this is what everyone's doing now.
And you buy a bunch of rompers, wear them to work on Casual Friday, and everybody laughs at you.
Yeah. They're like, rompers were from last year. Now we're all doing glitter in our beards.
And then I have to say, I don't have a beard.
And they're like, no beard, no beard.
Yeah, and then I run away.
Go Shart in your jorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so men's fashion. I mean, it's so straightforward. I don't even feel like there's that much more to explore.
I think that there's a lot of different levels to men's fashion.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I'd never get up to the professional level for sure. But I've been at different levels of men's fashion throughout my life.
You're not in the C-suite, that's for sure. Maybe junior exec.
Occasionally I can dress up to that, but a lot of the time I'm doing the
You're in the mail room.
dirt bag, the old I'm not even trying. It's fine because I'm not trying, which I think is a very popular move in men's fashion.
You're the guy who comes back after he gets fired and he's just drunk in the middle of the day and he gets in with his old ID badge and then he's just yelling at people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an important part of the American capitalist society, is having that angry, disgruntled former employee.
Yeah, we had to watch an active shooter video at work.
Ooh.
And I think it's mostly because of how mad people are when they quit their jobs.
That's not it.
They're not satisfied at all. And they all own guns.
No, those people, they do it because they hate the stuff that's in those stores. And they just want to shoot that stuff. I think that's what it is. People are just tragically getting in the way. God, I hope that
is that why
nothing like this happens between the time we record and release this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what? Nothing funny about guns ever happens.
Well, I guess on the Men's Fashion podcast, we could critique the shooter's wardrobe.
We could do that. We could really insult those shooters.
And then maybe give some constructive criticism so that they can look good and feel good. Mainly, I'm going to tell them to go to the Men's Warehouse.
You're going to like the way you look.
Yeah. And then you won't get so mad.
Wasn't that guy's name George Zimmer?
Ooh.
So close to Zimmerman.
If
only it had been George Zimmerman. Had been George Zimmer, could have just given Trayvon Martin a nice three-piece suit.
A great deal on a suit.
Say, hey kid, you don't look so good with that hoodie on. Here, let me show you this. This is a Brooks Brothers blazer. What the fuck are we talking about?
I have no idea. Men's fashion.
There
are a lot of different, there's a lot of work clothes. Sometimes work clothes look cool. I had a short period in high school where I like to wear electrician's coveralls.
Good pair of Dickies pants.
Yeah.
There
are a lot of different levels of men's fashion that you can play around in. Some people think they're cowboys.
Some people do think they're, but Some people think they're in the army.
Yeah, there's definitely I'm not wearing a costume play that men do.
That is... Yeah, there's a lot of guys who think that they're mixed martial arts fighters.
That's true. I don't see as many tap-out shirts as I used to, but does just Monster Energy drink own? Is there like some rule that you have to put Monster Energy drink logos on any sort of
I think that is like a legally binding thing. Yeah, do you have another idea?
Yeah, I got another one. And this one also, we touched on just a little bit of this one. It's called Boot Scoot Camp.
Boot Scoot Camp.
Yeah, because when they do like those really cool line and square dances and country music videos, they just assume and they like show people like anybody can do these dances, just do it. But what if you haven't had any training and you want to be ready?
Oh, I see. It's like boot camp.
But it's a boot scoot camp.
But it's boot scoot camp.
Yeah, so we'll get like a...
I was trying to think of somehow it was like related to computers or something.
Oh, no.
But now I understand. It's like the army.
It's like the army... where instead of going to kill, you're going to dance.
You're gonna scoot, and you're gonna
scuff them boots.
You turn around and go to town.
Yeah, but there are a lot of things they call out in those. There's mostly like do-si-do.
I thought that was like a square dance.
I don't even know what the difference is. There are a bunch of them. There's square dancing. There's line dancing, circle dancing.
Contra dancing.
I did that one time. I don't even remember what it was.
That seems like it's more of like an army thing, though, right?
I was thinking it was like a Nintendo Entertainment System thing.
Yeah.
And I know the cheat code. So I was like, shit, yeah, I'll do that dance.
Your feet go up, down,
Yeah.
left, right. You're like, I don't know how to do select or start with my feet.
Everybody freezes in unison, and
yeah. Then you get extra lives.
But there is terminology to all of this. I don't remember any of it. I'm going to look some of it up right now, but mostly it would be I don't know. Boot camp sort of makes you think of like a Arlie Ermy Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, it looks
sort of experience. I don't know if we need to go that gruff with it, but
there's this move called the grapevine. You travel from the right to the left, and your right foot steps to the right, and then your left foot crosses behind. So that's like a thing they do in boot camp too, right? Where you like have to run through a tire.
Yeah, we could
ground.
Absolutely have a square dancing obstacle course. Dance your way over this wall.
Yeah. Do you think people ever go off to war, and then there's just a bunch of tires lined up on the ground? They're like, "Whew! Ah, thank God I prepared for this."
I think it probably happens all the time, but they're probably those tires probably fell off of giant vehicles.
Yeah, it's just one of those big vehicles that has like 100 tires.
Yeah, the new tanks, the ones that don't use the treads.
And then they all fall off at once.
Yeah, they don't tighten the tires on good enough.
If I were a bad guy in a war, I would just put a bomb inside of one of those tires and put a bunch of tires in a row, and then the army guy would see it and he'd say, "Oh, I know what to do with this," and then he just goes hup, 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 and he gets to the end, kaboom, got his ass. They can't resist. They love the running through the tires. They love the climbing over a big wall with a rope.
Yeah. You could put a bomb at the top of a wall that has a rope on it, too.
Yeah. Now, see, conversely, you could get the Taliban by just putting some monkey bars, because they love the monkey bars. You just put some monkey bars that just keep going, and then they go off a cliff, I guess.
You're gonna you might need
just
to
put the monkey bars in a circle, and then they just get stuck on it. They can't stop.
What if you get that one Taliban member though who just sticks his leg up through the top and then just hangs from him and doesn't move anywhere?
Yeah, just hangs upside down there and reads.
Yeah,
Ramona and
Beezus. Won't get off, so that that's not what that's for.
Yeah, they got that Taliban guy that just keeps trying to go up the slide when everyone else is trying to go down.
He marches to the beat of his own drummer.
There's the Taliban guy who just what he does is he comes in, and when everyone's trying to use the swings, he just grabs the empty swing and just whips it wildly, so then it goes flying around, and then you're like, oh, it's gonna hit me.
Yeah,
damn you, Taliban. Yeah, they got a lot of different Talibans.
And that's another thing. Maybe it could be not just about boot scooting, but sometimes it could be about scooting from boot camp to boot camp, because I don't know what the military practices are in other countries.
Yeah,
I bet all of them have an obstacle course. And
boot scoots on the ground.
I mean, there's no reason that you can't dance in a war zone.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, and listen, this new generation, they're going to be doing the nay-nay, doing all those emotes after they get a kill.
It's true. I mean,
American troops introduce new 3-part shuffle to Victory Dance. Just flossing over a dead terrorist.
Ghost riding the new tanks.
Yeah. What are the new tanks?
I made them up because I said that a tank would have a tire.
Oh, that one with 100 wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have been thinking about that, what was that movie that came out last year, the big success?
Tank with 100 wheels?
Holy Motors, or... Is that what it was?
Holy Motors!
I don't remember. The one where entire cities are on giant tanks.
Yeah, what was it called?
This is the big hit.
The big hit. I saw it. Man, I never ever turn off a movie. I watched the first 8 minutes of that shit, and I was like, am I wrong, or is this the stupidest premise I have ever encountered? And then they were like, yes, well, we live in a steampunk dystopia, and as you can see here, this is one of the old religious figures, and it's just a statue of a minion. And I was like, I'm done. Statue of a minion. Fuck out of here. All right, so that was...
Yeah. That was Boot Scoot Camp.
Boot Scoot Camp. Now we have a suggestion here from Crystal. And Crystal writes in Weiner Wonderland. So this would be a well, she did not give any explanation beyond just the phrase Weiner Wonderland.
Okay.
So
all right, that sounds seasonal. Probably a play on Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, but this could be any time of year.
But there is sort of hot wieners and hot dogs do sort of hold sway over summer, but there is a Christmas in July. Couldn't there be a hot dog week the same week as Christmas?
Yeah.
I mean, we got Christmas Eve, we got Christmas Day. None of those other days are holidays that I know of. We could have a hot dog day.
This could also be the Wonderland from Alice's Adventures.
Okay.
You could have What if the White Rabbit was a hot dog? What if Tweedledee and Tweedledum were wieners?
Those two are wieners.
Yeah, but what if they were like actual wieners? Like just penises.
Oh.
Just chubby little penises.
I think you could make a delightful calendar. I'd very much enjoy turning the page to the next month.
This could be just a calendar idea where every month is a different character from Alice in Wonderland, but it's a penis dressed up to look like... Fuck. I almost got it out.
We could do an R-rated version and a PG-rated version.
One that's hot dogs and then one that's penises.
I was going to say one that's dachshunds and one that's penises.
Ooh, now that...
And we'd have to make really sure that we don't put one picture from the other... I just lost the word for calendar for a minute.
I was like, what are you saying?
I wanted to say catalog, calendar.
You said Kia, and I was like, Kia?
Yeah, so we just have to make sure that we got... we didn't accidentally put R-rated's March and G-rated's March spot. You think you're going to get a fun little dachshund dressed up like Iron Man or something, and instead of it's a penis dressed up like Iron Man.
What's that on the dachshund picture? Zoom in. Now enhance. The dachshund's penis is also dressed up like War Machine. Yeah, so thank you, Crystal, but this isn't a podcast. This is clearly a calendar idea.
A wonderful one.
And I don't think we're gonna pursue this one, but we think it's a brilliant idea, and we encourage you to chase your dreams, make that calendar happen. And please send us one. We'll put it up on the wall.
Yeah.
And people will say, "What is that?" And we'll say, "We don't know. We don't want to be associated with that. We want to stick to our idea where we make a bunch of middle schoolers look at the tit."
Yeah, we're gonna lose so many cool points in Boob Club if they see our Weiner Wonderland calendar.
Yeah, that's really. I mean. Yeah, no. All right, well, let's go to the Podtron.
Yeah, let's fire up the old Podtron.
The Podtron, of course, is a neural network that takes the ideas for podcasts and gives them to us based on Apple. This is the least coherent way I've ever described the Podtron. It's a computer. It makes up names of podcasts for us. And we take a few of those and try and feel them out. Now, I've got one here.
What do you got?
It's called Window.
The
Drunkie. It's Window, the Drunkie.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds compelling.
Well, as a watcher of my neighbors from my window, I'm wondering who the drunkie is, because I'm drunk. But if somebody's doing something outside that's stupid, it cancels out whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I'm drunker than he is, but at least I stayed inside.
Maybe this is like, maybe Window is like a nickname, and he's like a drunk guy who shows up at your window and just peers in.
Oh.
You're like, oh, there's Window, the drunkie. Or maybe he's like Blanket. You remember Blanket?
Michael Jackson's child?
So what if he had another kid that was like in the window looking out at the same time, and they're like, there's Blanket and there's Window. And, no one blames them with the childhood they had, but now Window is the drunkie.
Yeah. Do you think he drinks his liquor out of a Windex bottle?
Yeah.
Sprays some of it in his mouth?
He's all Window themed. It's square glasses. Window, window. It's a British children's show. Window, the drunkie. Here he comes, here he is, looking in the window.
Please, sir, can I have some whiskey, please?
Now, Window doesn't talk because it's like all European cartoons. They want to be able to just like, they have like a narrator. Window was having a very exciting day. It's like Pingu. Window was going to look through the window of the mayor's house today, but the mayor had closed the blinds. The Window had to get a ladder. And what did Window see when he looked in? Why, it was Mrs. Higginbotham, the mayor's assistant. She was putting a cake out for the mayor. I didn't know it was the mayor's birthday, said Window. So that's Window the Drunkie. It would just be a children's show podcast about a drunk man who is a peeping Tom around town.
I love it.
I do.
That's the one I want to do, I think, so far.
Sometimes you get one and you think there's nothing there, but then you start to feel it out and you're like, that's not a light switch.
Okay, here's another Podtron suggestion, and I'm hoping this isn't an actual podcast, but the Charty.
The Charty. This is like...
It's like the chart
and party.
With a Y.
Charty. The Charty.
So I guess it's like a party with graphs.
Yeah.
Where like you're really concerned with how to, wring the most enjoyment out of the party. So you've done extensive research beforehand, and everybody must be part of a podcast where you go over sabermetrics about how to party most efficiently.
This is a party wonk podcast.
Yeah.
We just get granular.
We got to get those
with that
party
big
numbers
data.
up.
We got to, maximize party efficiency. I like it.
Like Andrew WK says to always party hard, but that's a much bigger statement than I think he ever really truly delves into. Like what goes into partying hard. We can break this down into
Andrew WK tries to party harder. We party smarter.
Yeah.
It's
by having friends over to talk about charts in on a podcast party, Charty.
Excellent. All right. What else did I want to... this one is called Root of Canadian Kobe Bryantos. And I think this one would be Root of Canadian Kobe Bryantos. You know how they did that podcast that was like the Wolverine podcast where they had like voice actors? They're like Ed Begley Jr. as Wolverine.
Yes.
And, featuring the voice talents of it, but it was like a fiction, like an old radio drama about Wolverine. Well, this, I think, would have to go into that, but I imagine it being like someone clones Kobe Bryant in the lab, and this is like the origin. It's like the Wolverine origin story, because it's a root of the Canadian Kobe Bryantos.
But instead, would he have an adamantium skeleton, or?
I think his would be made of those little Nike shocks.
Okay, so he's very springy.
Yeah.
So like when his knees bend for him to go up for a dunk, there's no ligament damage to speak of. Like you don't got to worry about your Achilles or your ACL tearing because you're a rubberman.
Yeah, and the twist is, like, at the end of the first season, you find out he's just Kobe Bryant, and he's had his memory erased and had new memories implanted of being born in a laboratory. And he's like, well, wait, if I'm Kobe, then who is that on ESPN? And then you see, boing, boing. Season 1 cliffhanger. You got another one here?
Yeah, there's another one on here. And it uses sort of a similar naming thing as yours, but it's just the Giantos. Giantos!
I saw that one on there.
Giant toes.
Giantos.
Which it could be about very, very large toes. It could be just like a fun thing to call your giant friends. We could just get our biggest, tallest friends to do a podcast.
It could also be the giant O's, and we could just rate giant O's. You got like the Ferris wheel in London.
Yeah.
You got that world's largest tire in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. There's probably like a giant Cheerio at the Cheerio factory. If they don't have the biggest one, then who does?
Do you think that the one from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids counts?
Yes.
I guess that
it
the
does.
prop,
They built that out of tires that they tied together and then put
Really?
like junk. I think so. I think I'm not lying about that.
The giant Cheerio?
So that it could float, because tires float.
Huh.
I think that's some DVD knowledge, maybe.
Fancy. I had no idea.
Or maybe it's some Universal Studios knowledge. My parents loved me and took me to that wonderful place.
Oh, yeah. Mine didn't.
It actually
love me or take me to that place.
Was terrible, but their love got me through that ordeal.
You were like,
because everything broke down. Everything was like 3-hour lines. This is 100 degrees. There was a lot of attrition that day.
That that Jurassic Park ride. The first time that they put people on it, the dinosaur broke and sprayed hot hydraulic fluid all over the tram.
No.
It's like, I would rather just get chased by the dinosaur than have it break down in this fashion. It's just like hot grease.
Yeah, all you got to do is stand real still, and they can't see you.
Yeah.
But if they're spraying hot grease everywhere, good luck standing still.
What about this? What about the Giantos? And it's just a retelling of Jurassic Park, but with the Giantos instead of the dinosaurs.
Could it be like one of those Steve Odekirk movies with instead of thumbs, it's toes?
Yeah. So it's big toes.
Yeah.
And they're just coming for us. All right. So again, here's what we got. Because I'm sure we've come to that time where I think I can visibly see you have to pee.
It is very painful right now.
All right. Boob Club, Harm and Foul, Men's Fashion, Boot Scoot Camp, Weiner Wonderland, Window the Drunkie, the Charty, Root of Canadian Kobe Bryantos, and the Giantos. I put those two together, Kobe Bryantos and the Giantos. All right. I think we both agree it's Window the Drunkie.
Yes, I love it.
So, yeah, go ahead and go to the bathroom. I'll wrap up here. If you'd like to hear Window the Drunkie, that will be available this Friday over at patreon.com/we don't have a podcast yet. We'll be telling a story about a day in the life and the adventures of Window the Drunkie, a delightful claymation British cartoon character who gets drunk and then goes on a peeping spree. So you can do that. If you go to Patreon, go ahead and subscribe, and you can get access to our whole backlog of podcasts that we have tried and failed to do. There's one about ghost horses. There's one where we write rebuttals to breakup letters. There's another where we give advice to people. You can hear all of those and more every week over at patreon.com/we don't have a podcast yet. And hey, if you're one of those cool 13 to 17-year-old males who likes our podcast so much, why not go to iTunes and leave us a review? I know it's hard to figure out how to leave a review, but dedicate a couple of minutes of your time. Tell the folks what you like about us. Leave us a 5-star. All right, so that's it for today. Go ahead and check out Window the Drunkie this Friday at patreon.com, and we'll see you next Monday.